morning. My name is Derek Wandera. Welcome to the Capital Gang. Today, we have a bevy of topics, like Mose would say it. And Mose is still in studio, sitting in for Musomesa Oscar Semwea Musoke. And I'm joined by quite not a full house, but others are still on the way. Welcome, Honorable Ofono Pondo. Welcome to the show. How was the Afoy? And I'm also joined by Edgar Tabaro. Edgar Tabaro, Senior Counsel. A very good morning to you, Edgar.
Good morning, Mr. Wandera. Man from Samia Bugwe.
Yeah. Emugwe from Busia in Bukubalo. Samia Bugwe North.
It's a great weekend. We are celebrating a compatriot called Kano Warije Bohoku, who retired this week from the army after an illustrious career in the army. He at one time served as a spokesperson for the SRPS, then later spokesperson for AMSOM in Somalia, acting chief political commissar, and the last deployment was military attaché at our embassy in Ottawa. So we'll be celebrating him this afternoon, and that's why I'm dressed like Ofono Pono in a Maoist suit to suit the occasion, because he's a Marxist like Ofono Pondo. But I'm not very comfortable with these Marxists. They are very dangerous fellows. And if I had the power, I would lock all of them up in one place and give them the right ideology. So it's a great weekend. It's a great weekend.
True. This week, government or the army retired several generals and colonels, including General Katumba Wamala, who had served for more than
47 years.
47 years, yes, 47 years.
Since 79.
I think one of the generals that many people look at and feel he has done it all in the army. He also served as IGP at some point and the Commander Land Forces, not so?
Incidentally, General Katumba Wamala's biggest accolades are not even domestic. He headed, I think, the peacekeeping mission in Liberia.
Yes. Then
later Somalia. But more importantly also, when he took charge of the command of the UPDF in the DRC, he left a stellar record there that has never been equaled. Yeah. In particular, when they were withdrawing the troops, they walked thousands of kilometers. And you remember the story of how Congolese women followed Ugandan soldiers, also with the babies strapped to their backs and the migugu all the way. You know, the level of discipline he displayed there was commendable. And if you spoke to DRC refugees, Congolese refugees, they have very good words for the UPDF at the time they were in Congo. They don't have not so nice words for the other armies that were in the Congo that I will not mention on air, for purposes of preserving the rapprochement between Entebbe and that capital city.
The comments that came through showed, and even when you would look at the body language of General Katumba Wamala, just as the other, like General Tema, they seemed to portray a sigh of relief and probably happiness that now they are going to be out there, not in uniform. What's your take?
No, every soldier who reaches the end of their career in the army always has a sigh of relief to go and start a new life.
Honorable.
The same showed with General Kanduho. General Kanduho, who did a stellar job in securing Kampala. I won't say much more, but he also looked very relieved and very fresh, more relaxed than he was when he was in combat.
Honorable, what's your take on this?
Well, first of all, I congratulate my colleagues, the 19 generals, we call them general officers, and all the other officers and men who retired this week, and particularly the function of yesterday at State House. We are talking of relief. If you have walked that journey for 40 years, because nearly all of them have made 40 years in the army, the ones, those generals in NRA, in the UPDF, a number of them came from the bush, some with bullet wounds as a result of war, either during the bush or in this time when we were in the government, living when the commander-in-chief and the institution of the army is saying thank you to you. You haven't been to jail for whatever reason. You haven't suffered a demotion at one point of your career. You can only say thank you to your maker. And I think the rest of the country, many of those generals, you haven't had them in many or any scandal. You are talking about General Katumba and
General Tema.
And the Congo, JRC. How about the operation 1995, I think? It was a colonel then, I think.
Lieutenant Colonel.
Sudan. When you commanded that operation and captured, I think, over 150 Sudanese soldiers.
Sudan Armed Forces, the ones of Khartoum.
Yeah, that time it was one Sudan. And brought them to Makindi. That's what actually broke the back of that war. We captured them with all their ammunition, all their guns, and brought them to Makindi, where they stayed for close to a year. And eventually the government of Uganda chose to give them back to their country. So all of them, really, all those generals, I know virtually each one of them personally, because at different points we work together. And so it was a good thing. And it was the first batch of such a number of general officers retiring. I think it signifies that our country is making a good journey in stability, in institutional development, certainty. You can now, we still have issues, but generally you can now know, you can predict
the exit date.
No.
I retired 2024 from a similar service.
But not tired.
I said I retired from a similar service 2024 after 34 years working behind the lines. I have no I have no scar also.
Do you want me to say what you are doing?
I said behind the line, similar line.
Well, please say it. You were doing it together behind the lines.
and I'm also happy. And I have my patience, so it's good.
We are in studio. We are also joined by the Honorable Abdu Katuntu, formerly.
Abdu used to be my very, very good contact.
Please don't disclose state secrets on air.
Honorable Abdu, welcome to the show.
Yeah,
you
thanks.
started off on a high note by crossfiring the Honorable OO.
Yeah, I know, and the sort of job he was doing, to me, it runs within my DNA, as he knows.
You're a progeny of an operative.
And when he talks about contacts, some contacts know, others don't know that they are contacts actually. Anyway,
Yeah.
that's for another day.
Yes. We're also joined by the State Minister Public.
We are joined by the minister.
We are joined by the Minister of Public Service, the Honorable Lydia Wanyoto. Welcome back from Mbale City.
Thank you, Derek. I want to greet my colleagues in the studio, and also bring you greetings from Mbale City. They listen to Capital Gang and now NBS combined. I want to congratulate our generals who retired yesterday. I think the other day was the formal function, but it has been a process. General Amala Katumba is my immediate boss, is my supervisor, because he's the Minister for Public Service. So we are happy that we see a smile and a jovial person during the official with very, very serious strokes. We didn't know, we saw them the other day. So we've been teasing him on our forum. But for me, I'm also been lucky that I have worked with most of those generals in my other tasks and assignments in South Sudan, in Somalia, and until recently with some of them with the African Union in Addis. So I wish them well, and I liked the statements, their parting notes to say they hand over the UPDF, a professional army, a people army with good relations, CIMIC, the civil military relations. That was a good handover note, and with new technology now and coming at the back of a recent process of recruitment, the young people have something to look at as they go for training, because as they leave, the whole of the last 2 weeks, there's been a process of recruiting young people to join the forces. So
I can see a segment of them assembled that Korolo.
Yes, yes.
It was final screening to go to the training school.
So about 50 trucks.
So the UPDF, maybe even with the other forces, they've been able to streamline the service in a seamless manner, because as we were witnessing recruitment, we saw the senior generals retiring. So the exit shows that there's also an entry. And these young people who are training, or those who are joining second lieutenants recently, we've seen some, they have people to look to. They have people to look to or to be role modeled to. But for me, because now the UPDF has streamlined the workforce, when do you join, when do you pick your rank, the standards of training, and how do you pick your ranks and go through the strategic positions, is good for the country. One of the biggest challenges of running a national army is the process. When I was in Somalia, those generals refused to retire. State stabilization is very difficult. They refuse to retire. They remain with their ranks, with the privileges. So now that you see in Uganda it's seamless, it's not a cup of tea. A lot of work and reforms has gone behind that, because ours was not just an army, one formation. At the end of the war and conflict of our country, there were many formations,
22 different
coming together and building an ideology that has brought us peace, unity, and what you are seeing now, I think it's a good story to tell about our country, given what we see as we work in the neighboring countries, and what happens when you do not have the different maybe warlords or different formations, different ideologies of the military. Agreeing that we move into one file and one formation, agree on ideology, and even have the establishment. And some of you have had an access to that big voluminous book. It tells the story of the new order, the establishment, and things are working. The services are professionalized. The recruitment is clear. The training schools, the training schools are up and running.
Right now, the
deployments in the relationship, the foreign policy of Uganda with defense is one of the best. I've just come from a meeting with the EAC. The defense and security sector is doing very well in the region. They are doing very well. Even issues like sports and where they converge, areas of convergence, sharing of intelligence, cybercrime, terrorism.
Access to the sea.
They are head top of the notch. So, knowing what has been happening in our neighbors, I think we are doing well, because one of the biggest challenge, for example, for Somalia to stabilize is to fix the national army to be on their feet to defend their own country.
Yeah, before I come to Honorable Katuntu here, I just wanted to give you a follow-up on the same. I've seen some of the retired generals, like General Eluelu, is now a pastor preaching the gospel. What's the government strategy on rehabilitating the retired generals, but also making sure that their life continues? And
I don't think the word rehabilitation is the right word. These are not sick people. They are not lost.
Get welcome to the society out of that uniform.
If you are listening to me, I just mentioned that the parting remarks led by General Katumba, where they summarized what our UPDF has been. They have built a military civil relations. So they have not been in the barracks. They've been with the people. If you have been following their meetings and the way they run conflict, they are part and parcel of the community.
I think what is
so the point. Let me finish. You can also say. But just give me you are going to disrupt my flow, because you cannot say rehabilitation. I just wanted to ask you, maybe get the right English. The UPDF, unlike other armies, have not been locked up in the barracks. Just look at their civic activities, the civil military activities, the Tarehe days. They spend the weeks with the people. That's one. Number two, even the recruitment. They announce, they go to the community and they stay there and they pick people from all over the community. The recruitment alone tells you a lot. Then the UPDF Act. The UPDF Act has a big component of development and participating in the socio-economic transformation of the country. So this was formal, but actually in real life, they are with the people. Now, if they are going to remove the uniform, there has been a lot of they get through a formal counseling processes. Yeah, they get there is a whole training module which some of us are part of for the different cadres, because not only generals retire. At every level there's a retirement program, and sometimes people retire because of maybe poor health, maybe because they've not gone through the ranks, the levels of deployment and tasking, because of the ranks. And then age is a factor, because when there's the age, the troop to task.
And graduated to NRA and now UPDF. One of them is actually my classmate, Major General Geoffrey Kasigazi.
Honorable, can you speak to the microphone?
Yeah, Major General Geoffrey Kasigazi is my classmate. In law school, we were same year, and okay, I want to use the word in our class. He seemed to be the most serious person, a little bit mature, more than all of us. He has been an officer right from the beginning, and anybody who people like Katumba, they have had a long journey. Yeah, and you see where they are coming from.
Were you already born in 79?
He's a Gen Z.
Certainly not.
Yes.
I was 3 years old in 79.
Oh dear. We are seated together. So these people have moved a very worst journey, very worst professional journey, and maybe nobody knew the time they were joining that they would rise to the top. Nobody could have ever thought about it, because many of them hadn't even gone up to the end in formal school. They had been certificate, diploma, the majority.
Yeah, like senior 4, leave once, you go for some certificate.
Yes.
And now through the system, General Katumba is now an MA.
No, but there's a graduate amongst them when he joined, the General Kasita Goa. He was an ADC.
But I'm talking about my own classmate, General Kasigas. I said many of them didn't go, they were not like Kasigas or Kasita.
Kasita Goa.
And so on. Yeah, but they continue rising. One thing you have to credit the NRA then, it gave opportunities even to those whom they had fought to rise. Like a General Katumba himself, General Tema Awan, because these are UNLS, but eventually they were absorbed. Yes, they were absorbed.
Yeah, Angina, Charles Angina.
They were absorbed in the NRA.
Even Tolit.
And all of them, I think Tolit retired earlier.
Yep.
Yeah. So, but then they rose to full generals and so on, and serve the NRA, serve the UPDF. So you need to give credit to the NRA then. But go back to what Lydia is talking about. You know, that parting shot was very, very good. Say, this army was built on sacrifice.
Yeah.
And please don't cut the umbilical cord between the army and the civilian population. And it ends up by saying, be loyal to the constitution. I think that was a real good message as they part to the officers then. Because there was one time when the NRA was really like a section of the population. They were part and parcel of the population, the ordinary population. Today there is a little bit of some little turbulence. I hope it is sorted out sooner than later. Where now the army may not be as part of the population as it was then.
Probably not as little a turbulence as you might want to describe it.
No, let me choose my words. I won't call it little because I think it can be remedied.
It can be remedied, exactly.
It can be remedied. Because you see, what Uganda needs is a people's army. So that when you see an army officer in uniform, you are not like, oh my God, where do I take off?
In trouble,
to an army officer.
You should run towards the officer.
Not that.
Depends on which trouble you are in. Because if you are wearing red and you are in trouble, you might not necessarily run.
That's what he's saying.
That's what he's saying.
That's what he's saying.
You see, I want that NRA like army, that anybody thinks this is my savior. If I'm in trouble, I have to run there. That's
the one that the General Katumba has created.
The one they are saying they are handing over to, the guys coming after them. The new officers and men should have that in mind. The good news is many of them are well educated, the new officers. They have gone to formal schools, they have gone to best universities in the world, they have gone to the best military academies in the world. They are not like these people couldn't even speak one word in English and so on. So, and there is also life after the army. That's the most important thing, to summarize it all. For every army officer to know that there is life after serving in the forces. And then you use the rehabilitation, but that's not the word as the minister was complaining. It is reintegration back to the civilian life. So that when you are reintegrated back to the civilian life, how do people look at you? Do they look at you as one of our saviors and somebody who sacrificed, a point of reference, respected elder? I'm sure Katumba, if he ever went back, where does he come from? Mukono.
Mukono, but really also Sese Island.
Sese Island, I think.
Yes.
If he goes...
He's also Rotarian, you know.
Okay. If he goes back to Sese, I'm sure every elder, everybody would be, it will be a pilgrimage sort of, to go to Katumba's home, and he's telling them stories of war, what he did, how did he rise, different armies he has served, different commanders. That's the sort of army office everybody should be emulating, especially the younger ones. So it's good for them, it's good for the country, and of course it was also colorful. The person who must have been very happy with himself is President Museveni. When he sees the whole lot going, and then there are new young people coming in to take over. We wish them well. And please, the new officers managing this institution, take a note of the parting shot of General Katumba.
In your absence, I talked about General Katumba's performance outside of Uganda, Liberia, Somalia, and the DRC. Stellar performance there.
And by the way, so far so good since we started.
Even at the Peace and Support Mission in
Force reduction,
Addis.
1992-93.
Addis. They are the ones who built that.
Generally
Addis.
speaking, if you go to the police records, you go to community records, we don't have many incidences of criminality, breaking the law by retired
Ex-servicemen.
ex-servicemen. You don't.
I hope-
Whether these armed robberies and what, you don't find. Even the ones who have come from Somalia were worried. The ones that come from Somalia, we thought. But so far, so good. So the tradition in the UPDF has been good.
It's actually in the whole country. The Ugandans handle weapons better, and that's why in Iraq and Afghanistan, the military contractors took on many Ugandans.
Blackwater.
Blackwater of Prince. The understanding out there is that Ugandans are the most disciplined Africans, especially our ex-servicemen, when it comes to handling weapons.
Yeah.
They are not excited.
They were not excited, but
Yeah,
we may see ourselves as an indisciplined lot, but there's a section of Ugandans who are very highly regarded.
Very disciplined.
Actually, last week I met the new Minister of Defense, former Attorney General Kirewa, and he said, I didn't know that being the Minister of Defense is where you actually go to relax. Why?
Everything works in
Streamlined.
streamlined.
Yeah.
And he's a workaholic.
There is order there.
I want us to leave this topic, but that
Everybody goes to the rules until you are called to Parliament to explain.
the retirement of the senior officers is certainly indicative of the transition that we are seeing in the entire country. I want us to leave that topic and quickly run to the unsafe mechanical motor vehicles. They have only tomorrow to be on the roads. I remember yesterday I was on a certain platform and saying there was a day I was around Chisasi roundabout, and a taxi had its door literally put on top of it, and it was ferrying passengers, and I had to drive ahead and tell the officer, the traffic officer, to stop the vehicle and let these people go out, take this vehicle to at least see a mechanic. And many of these DMCs are everywhere in this country. I want to begin with you, Honorable. How is this going to be implemented on Monday, and what's the government's strategy for the same?
The transport sector is under reform, but the beauty where we are now is that at least they have a leadership. When you talk about that tax you are talking about, there is a body, they have their association where there is the chairman and the executive. So now communication and stakeholder management is possible because they have their own leaders and their rules of engagement. That is what is going to help us. But we have just approved the plan for the Kampala Metropolitan. That is Kampala City, Central District, Mukono, Wakiso, and PG, and Entebbe. So we are going to begin with the center as we go out to get this Kampala Metropolitan, what I normally call breathe, because things are not breathing here. The traffic jam is bad. Even managing drainage is terrible. We do not have terminals. So they are going to begin by cleaning up. You heard about the National Cleaning Days. We are trying to step by step see whether this where we live, or the face of the country, it can breathe and can be manageable. So what you have described, they have already trying to work with the Ministry of Works to ensure that any vehicle, any public transport that is under poor mechanical conditions should not find its way on the road or on the terminals. Number two, the big picture is to really delve into public transport by providing a transport system that works for people, that is decent and safe. I want to emphasize the word safe. So that's what's happening, but you are dealing with people and people's livelihood. So you cannot wake up one morning and say stop. That's why you had them giving those period times. When you hear about Monday did not just fall. It has been ongoing. Meetings with the leadership, meeting with the stakeholders, drawing the terminal, the routes within the city, and trying to see that we clean the city and deal with the traffic jams, but also provide public awareness where people should go or where people should be dropped off and picked from. So Monday is a start of cleaning up the terms of traffic, but also the roadworthiness of public transport. But the future is about providing more public transport that befits safety, but also fits transport within the metropolitan.
Yeah, I have seen that in the last 3 or so months there has been a lot of road carnage. We remember about those students who perished in Kapchorwa. We've seen many road accidents happening, and most of them due to the poor maintenance of cars. And I want to come to you, Honorable OO, and you're the parliamentarian here at this point. Where does Parliament position itself in terms of setting better laws on making sure that our vehicles that are moving on our roads qualify?
I don't think the question is I hope Lydia didn't talk about not just the DMCs of private people. You ministers,
Honorable, can you extend to the microphone?
Ministers and other government officials who have no right of way. They know the law. You find the Minister of State, they're saying, shouting in a thick traffic jam, and you say, does this minister tell his driver what to do? Are you going to fly? So I think better go to cabinet and tell ministers, raise it. It's a matter of public concern. You can't have a country where ministers are the ones breaking the law. Public law become a nuisance. Find a traffic jam. Where do you want these people to go? You know the road is narrow.
And there's a pile up.
And you even see MS with the Kabendera. Surely.
The good thing I'm living by example. I hope you can say that.
That Katumba Wamala we are talking about. You can't hear his side. I don't think he.
So was David.
The legend, not the legend in all this, is Lieutenant General retired Ivan Koreta.
In this town,
an officer by excellence.
Even in this town, you can't hear General Saleh's saying.
Yes.
Saleh here in town.
Saleh, you never tell that Saleh has passed.
But little ministers that nobody actually knows them. It is now from their hearing. Then you see the MS, and you check. You check this number, this digital place belongs to which ministry. Then you can zero.
So, without being suggestive, so the ministers are smaller than General Saleh.
We are now being diversionary.
Without being suggestive.
That is obvious. That's obvious if you have common sense. But then common sense is not common. Now the DMCs, I think we go back to the route of implementation. You remember there was a time when we said the government came up, I think, again voiced. They said let us examine vehicles. They put points where to examine, but because there was suspicion of lack of due diligence and corruption, it was stopped. Today, if you say DMC,
But don't talk those things when you're looking at me, because I'm one of the most disciplined
you are
cadres, you know.
in our
You're
government.
But you know that I am a good role model.
So
Honorable Nyoto, you're
Just say that let them be like Wanyoto. Let them be like Wanyoto. Then, because now you're looking at me, you're saying we are KMS, KMS. What are you trying to insinuate?
So,
okay, let us say
if-
CM.
Yeah, if you say mechanical, where do people go to test? They simply said it's a mechanical wetness. Where? This is not good one place. Would you test all those kinds? So the practicality of it, I don't see it. Except I don't know whether a naked eye can determine whether the car is a DMC. But I think the bottom line really, we need discipline.
Yeah.
Discipline, yeah.
We need discipline. Now you're talking of accidents. You talk of bad roads. But is Kampala Entebbe Expressway bad road? Haven't you seen in the last 2 weeks, people have died there?
Last Saturday was a terrible accident.
So
Last Sunday.
it is not just a bad road or DMC. There's a general recklessness in the country. There's general recklessness.
Discipline. Well, you said it.
In discipline. So I don't know what the Minister of Ethics is doing about that, inculcating how to improvise on
I'll bring her to Capital Gang.
Yes. So there's some, maybe it is at the training schools of the driver that they don't emphasize the personal discipline of the driver as a big factor on road safety. Maybe that's where the minister and the police need to point.
But the ones who are being driven, they're as good as their drivers. Like you've said, if you are being driven and you're a very serious person, there's no your driver will be disciplined and you are watching. You are the first line of
I have a
discipline.
case in court.
You are the first line of discipline.
I don't want to mention their names. The guy was hitting 160 on Goro Highway, and the brother warned him that you're driving too fast. He never heeded the warning, and they overturned. So the brother sued his brother. He sued his brother for damages.
Interesting. They came out safe.
They came out safe, but there was insurance, whatever that.
So yes, we can use the platform of Parliament, like we're using this radio show, to amplify what we think are the major causes. Yes, roads are getting improved. Vehicles have DMC, but at the core of it, I think it is the indiscipline. Look at if he removes the DMCs, what is he going to do for the border? I hope his statement is a collective position of cabinet that has been endorsed by the president. Some of those things are also political. You don't want to say sokoleka abantu bange or get a call mutawana. I hope it is a collective position. I hope it is not driven by his personal decision as a minister. Of course, that's how it should be. The minister, if you are the minister of what,
Take charge.
You should take charge. But if it's going to have a ripple effect, like Lydia said, this is a matter of life and death. People are going to earn. When you give them 1 week, where do they go? Yeah.
I think, Honorable OO raises very poignant issues when he brings about road safety, but also discipline. And road safety is one of the things that I think the government has done, but not as much as they should. Honorable Katuntu, you have been in Parliament, and some of these matters have come on the floor of Parliament. The police releases reports of accidents every other, and road usage every other year. We see the numbers of incidences fluctuating and sometimes raising even beyond the roof. What do typical Ugandans what have they got to do? What do typical Ugandans have to do with making sure that they ensure safety, but also making discipline? Does it start from the big people, the cabinet ministers, or does it start with me, the Mwananchi?
First of all, I think it has been unfair on part of Capital Radio not to invite the minister in charge or an officer from that ministry or police. And if they invited them and they didn't attend,
we invited them.
And they didn't attend,
and they have failed to come.
Yeah, and that's quite unfortunate, because to me, I don't want this to be more or less a street conversation. We want statistics. One, how many of these vehicles are in town? Two, if you grounded them today, you say work, tomorrow none of those vehicles is going to move. Is there going to be a ripple effect, as the Honorable Ofonopondo Podel says? Three, let us look at the numbers. Kampala alone has between 2.5 to 3 million commuters every day. How many of these move through motorized transport? And this sort of ramshackle constitute what percentage of the motorized transport? Therefore, transporting how many people? If you ground them, are you going to? Is there an alternative? But if you are saying that these ramshackles transport almost 50% of our people,
or even more,
and you wake up tomorrow and say, please park, I can tell you there would be a problem. And that's the sort of thing, a conversation I wanted us to have. Because you don't want to wake up tomorrow and now the president said, what the president says, what is this going on? As O says, abantu bange mubaleke. Because there would be another problem. People will not be going to work. People will start maybe walking longer distances. Three, you might even have a hike in transport, because now there will be too many passengers
against too few.
Public
maybe
transport.
Also running battles with the enforcement, because they have enforcement plan.
Also enforcement. And then even sometimes with our bad manners, we make a money for enforcement officers too. So this is the sort of facts I thought we would put on the table and we discuss from a point of knowledge. Even if you are talking about accidents, police should have told us these are the numbers they have. That of all the accidents that happen, 30, 40, 20, 80%.
Human error,
DMCs, road infrastructure, and so on. But if they have not done an analysis of that, and to them, because nobody wants a DMC on the road, no person who has money wants to jump on a DMC. I would rather, if I have my 5-star, you call it 5K these days, that's your language, younger people. I have my 5K and I want to commute from point Y to X. I would want a decent car, not a DMC. But it's not the DMC which is available. What is the other option or alternative? I must jump on boda.
They call it Bajaj.
A Bajaj. And now there is a problem with the Bajaj. Because if there are too many, the Bajaj is now going to charge 4,000 instead of 2,000. All this should have been taken in. I hope they did. And next week, if they enforce this particular directive, we will be able to know exactly whether they did their homework or they didn't. And if they didn't, then they are doing this country a big disservice. But more importantly, we call it mass public transport system. That's what we should be planning for as a country. The government, people like my sister Lydia, who sit in the cabinet, your head should be put together to say, how do we improve public transport system in town? One, look at the roads we have. Can we have, buses, free lanes for public buses? Can you have it? Two, can we have trams? Can we have trains? Even the parks where they are situated, There are so many things government can do before you start running to the weakest of ramshackle car. We don't want ramshackle car. Let me tell you, if I've got money, I'll buy a new car. Why should I buy ramshackle? If I'm a passenger and I want to drive, I want to jump on public transport, I would like to jump on a new one, but it's not available. And now that which is available, you are taking it away. Have you done your projections? And if they have not, we are going to have a crisis. Then lastly, is talking about indiscipline. It's not even about these ministers. Every Dick, Tom and Ofono are doing these things. Even Ofono is a small pickup, there is a siren, he goes chasing people. I'm not talking about Ofono Honorable. I'm talking about a cartoon. He puts in it and he goes around quick. They drive on the different lane.
One way, and they're coming in the opposite
and
direction.
they are coming in the opposite direction. Then the border is also doing the same. So there is a lack of indiscipline on the roads. If these guys, the police and government, we are serious, let us force the laws. We don't have any deficit with the law. Actually, we have very good laws. But how are they enforced? When there is green, when there is red, that's when they take off. When there is green, they stop. When there is yellow, they are running into it. So it's just, confusion.
Well, the issue of ministers, they give a bad example. A government car with the minister's flag, a high court judge. The high court judge have joined now. The Court of Appeal.
Those are not very bad.
I'm saying they have joined.
The judges really, they're always conscious of it.
So, and unfortunately, our system is, police actually thinks that a red number plate shouldn't be stopped.
Yes.
But I would want the traffic police, to park a minister in his car by the roadside. So you're not moving.
There is one time I think I think the CDF had sort of ordered and there were army men around.
That's the knee-jerk reaction.
Yes.
Because it couldn't sustain it.
In 1986.
No, but you see what you do, you enforce the police, the traffic police officer that any car, regardless, it should follow the law. I'll give you an example. We had a debate about that Entebbe Express. Who should go toll-free? I know this one. And some army officers, high government officers were like, no, we are going. Until there was specific instruction. It is on the presidential convoy, which has a right of way. And everybody going through that toll has to pay, regardless of who you are. If they are government officers, they should buy the cards. If you're a minister like my sister here, they have a card. You pay, you go, you swipe, and then it opens. And that's what order should be. So if police was very serious and empowered, say, look here, whether it is who, so long as he does not have a right of way. Even ambulances. Sometimes my colleagues in the parliament used to do one thing. They have ambulances, they bought ambulances. But whenever there is a traffic jam, they get into the ambulances.
The political instinct in them.
So, you have ambulances in other countries. Who has a right of way?
Men of these are not ambulances. Where are they registered?
But
as ambulances?
No, they are written on ambulances.
Yes, but when you write, is that an
ambulance?
But the question I would like to ask Bakatoto.
Come on, why don't you really let that lie?
Where did we drop the ball? Because I recall, I think 1988, Colonel Lumumba, late Colonel Lumumba.
Yes.
He was driving a NRA vehicle, registered. I think he was division commander, whether 4th or 5th division. He overturned at Kitant, at that time the roundabout, Kitant Road roundabout.
Yes.
He overturned. I think he was even injured, but he was tried in the traffic court for reckless driving. And he was convicted.
Which year was
Given the
that?
fine. I think 88.
Yeah, that is the NRA time.
Where did we drop the
That's
ball?
the NRA
Where did
time.
these MSs with the Cavenderas?
Edgar, can we allow
Mad from-
Honorable
You leave our
Andrew
MS.
to wrap it up?
Yeah, so
Then
to
I'll
me,
bring you on.
You are
yeah,
jealous.
so to me, I think we need to look a little bit further.
As you
If
are.
it's about roads and indiscipline on roads, including accidents. But most importantly, how can we organize mass public transport within the
Yeah, the
city?
issue is
And that is
public transport.
train, that is buses, and there is no any other alternative. Not this
And the
knee-jerk-
gazetted terminals.
and of course, gazetted terminals, not this knee-jerk attempts by the minister. And there are even examples to give. Even in South Africa, which has got the best automobile industry on the continent, actually one of the best in the whole world. When you go to cities like Pretoria, Johannesburg, downtown you have those yellow matatus. Very, very ramshackle. But it's very, you can go to the townships. They are there. Why? Because at that point, many of those people cannot afford the other better transport
But
system.
they're also not as disruptive.
They are
out
not.
of-
They have organized them. They have reorganized them. So, one, we have to organize these ramshackles because sometimes we may not have an option.
You speak of voluminous incidents, and I remember one of those where you're advising traffic officers to stop everyone who, regardless of your rank, and I remember some of the traffic officers who have been slapped on the streets of Kampala.
But you slap a traffic officer is an offense. They slap an offense on you.
We have seen. I want to bring in
And even that incident when it happened, I think that patrol officer had now eventually to engage, with the traffic officer and so on, because they didn't let it lie.
But
Yes.
we have many public facilities and would actually be opportunity for businesses. For example, all the year round, number of yard remains vacant, idle, not running money. Kawanda remains idle. Probably Masaka Road. We could have a simple administrative measure and say taxis stop 20 kilometers. And then you can start dealing with buses, commuter buses. One way would be that. But anyway, we carry heads with the
No, we have, but we just switch
No,
off.
we could actually start
We have-
by
We have, but we switch off.
Honorable Katul.
There's something between the ears, but we switch off.
I want to bring in Edgar before we go for a break.
And I'll be brief. Indeed, the Honorable Katut has guided. We should have had a technical person, not even policy, technical person to come and interact with us, and it would have been much more productive.
Efforts were made, but they were not available.
I'm told efforts
They're
were
in
made.
Gulu.
It would
They're
have,
in Gulu, so
it would have made a lot of good for productive discourse for especially our listeners and viewers. But taking DMCs off the road is certainly a good move, with all its attendant challenges that Honorable Katuntu has raised, causing a deficit on the supply side of commuter PSVs and what have you. But let us not make no mistake about this. The traffic safety, road and traffic safety, is much more than the DMCs. It's about the training schools for drivers. It's as well about the road engineering designs. Many of our roads are death traps because of
Edgar, I'm sorry, I have to cut you short. We'll go for a quick commercial break, and when we bring you back, when we come back, we will bring you on, and
you always like cutting everything on mine short.
This time round with an apology.
Everything. I'm not sure.
Capital FM, welcome back from that break. Star Cafe is in the building. Minister Honorable Lydia Wanyoto has been partaking of it very religiously, and I see OO also enjoying.
I've done 3 Kabbalah
three Kabalagalas smashing them away. When we went in the break, Edgar Tabaro was giving his deliberation on the DMCs on the road, and I know the section you come from, Namuongo side, that side. You know the kind of
I said
side.
Muyenga.
Yeah, Muyenga. So you go through Namuongo.
I go through Namuongo. But it's been done.
The number of
But the
DMCs
Namuongo
on that
of the
road.
Ofono days is not the Namuongo of today. There is a little bit of a difference.
Thanks to the late Paul Wakashabarwanga, who
Yes.
redesigned Namuongo from a slum to a fairly
Yes.
decent settled settlement.
So Edgar, what could be your take on the DMCs on the
So
road?
I said that, make no mistake, taking the DMCs off the road is the right thing to do. And in any case, it's even cushioned by the law. Right? It's sheltered by the law under the Traffic and Road Safety Act. DMCs, and they give a definition of the DMCs: lighting, braking system, and what have you. But that is only part of the problem. And I was talking about road designs. Of course, for enforcing safety on the road, we've taken the soft target. We've gone for the soft target. Get DMCs, get the drivers, get the DMCs.
When you are
off the road.
learning to swim, you begin from the shallow end.
Mind you, I
But
mentioned
it's okay, you can.
when I rudely interrupted the Honorable Katuntu, for which I apologize to him and the listeners and viewers, I gave an anecdote of Colonel Lumumba, a Bush war hero who was convicted for a traffic offense. That was a level of discipline that we've descended from. And why is it the case that we've left that level of discipline? And all these unruly borders riding in the wrong direction. Then sometimes you get even private cars, private registered cars, usually carrying certain political paraphernalia that I'll not mention on air, driving in the wrong direction, breaking all traffic rules. So, but back to the design. I happen to be from Kabarole. Our road has been the road to Kabarole. Mind you, the biggest tourist attractions towards the Rwenzori, and tourism numbers are soaring. But of late, they've reduced to that part of the country because of the road condition. And I don't know what conspiracy is there against people of Togo. Because you remember from 1980s, when Enago project was given that project to do the Kabarole road for Porto, it has always told at every point and turn that we are beginning to imagine there's somebody there who sits working against. And films and reasons. Enago was denied because of the sanctions that came after Yugoslavia.
But the road they had done was very good.
It was very good. The section they had done was
Yes,
very good.
Very, very good.
Very good. But
And
that was
lasted for a very long
time. That was Mitiana Mobende.
Yes.
But remember, it was supposed to continue up to Fort Portal. Very good road. Now, again, the road works have stalled. And reason being that UNRWA refused to pay approved certificates, interim certificates 10 and 11. The result that they defaulted on their financial obligations to the bank.
Part of DMC.
No, the roads that we are doing. We are going for the softer target, the DMCs, and lock up the whatever. But government
or anybody
has a
from Toro
responsibility.
are always taking an advantage to talk about that problem.
Yeah, we lost. We lost.
The minister is your cousin.
No, he's from Kakumiro.
He's your cousin.
He's from the lost counties.
He's your cousin. You descended from the Banyoro, not
He's from the lost counties. He was taken by that. So, but
we digress. Let's focus on the DMCs.
yes,
and
but we can't talk about the DMCs without talking the road conditions. Some of the roads do not have reflectors. Some of the roads are far too narrow, and some, the dangerous bends. Sometimes they put the climbing lanes. You remember that?
Or the
section?
roads create DMCs. People's vehicles become DMCs.
Of course, if your road is potholed, and you have to fix car parts every now and then, sometimes you let it be and drive until the car parts are completely worn out. So I also do remember, you're talking of the knee-jerk approach. In the 90s, early 90s, you remember there was a very enthusiastic, energetic OC traffic of Kampala, Freddie Iga.
Yes.
He woke up one morning without consultation and said, every car without a reflector. They will lock you up. It was a knee-jerk approach. Oh. The reaction, it was like a clawback of a
Yeah,
cat.
but at that time, you also remember somebody whispered that somebody who had imported those reflectors
Was pushing for it.
was pushing for it because it was business. So it
Business.
turned
And that's
out to be a corruption problem.
Thank you so much, and that's what I'm going to talk about next. I hope we are not creating.
So at these stations, actually,
So exactly. So I hope we are
Which
not-
one?
These stations
these stations, this is a car check station.
in Kawanda, in the. It's a business.
So it is possible.
But you are the one in that parliament.
Who approved it?
No, stopped it. They're the one who
Who
stopped
stopped it? Oh, okay. Now, besides this topic, I just hope we are not that we are creating a revenue stream for the enforcers, especially the gentlemen on the street, the ones who put out the right arm for you to what? For you to stop. I hope we are not going to create a revenue stream for them to earn from.
Just yesterday when we were discussing elsewhere on Baramu's operation, we said now the policemen are really, and the lawyers are really good kinds.
Yeah, they are creating business for us. We call it business development. The more of the fellows you lock up and interdict, we lawyers shall be smiling all the way to the bank. And if you look at of late, Katutu will bear me witness. The cause list at the anti-corruption court is really getting it's getting longer.
Edgar, I wanted to ask the question that you asked to Honorable Katuntu. How did we get here? In terms of the brokenness, you give anecdotes of past incidents in 1988, and now we are here where there is, no one is caring at all. Everyone is riding. When someone is on a motorbike, they think they can overtake anyone. People are driving on opposite lanes and things like that.
I think it arises from a general breakdown in culture, and particularly the creeping culture of impunity. There's general impunity in the way we do our things in Uganda, whether holding public office on the private sector, and even the helpless fellows on the road. And now we're talking about the city. Go to the countryside. There are people who behave with a lot of impunity there, grabbing land. Grabbing land, and it's all has to do with impunity. And unless and until we check impunity, take deliberate and intentional efforts to checking impunity, that you do this, there are going to be sanctions for what? For doing wrong. So unless and until we get into that mode of fighting impunity, being intentional as well as deliberate, we're going to continue having road carnage, we're going to continue having bad road designs, we're going to continue having creating revenue streams for the corrupt enforcement officers. So there's no other way about it. And I need to emphasize that knee-jerk approaches have never given solutions that are sustainable. So we need sustainable solutions. Work 360 degrees. For the commuters, we need to phase out the 14-seaters and go maybe for, are there 72 seaters? This is the Kayola, the electric buses, 72 words. So for the next, government can announce a ban in imports of what? Of the 14-seaters and maybe even 28-seaters.
Give them 3 years.
Yeah, give them 3 years. They'll phase out. That's the only way. That's the only way we are going to improve our transport system in Kampala.
Mr. John Musingos of URA.
Speak to the microphone, Honorable.
Mr. John Musingos of URA will say, and my brother Musasi.
Cash cow.
How are we
Cash
going to
cow.
raise the revenue the money members of parliament want?
To buy them beautiful cars.
Yes. So really must be thoughtful.
It's a catch-22. Yeah,
But even you see, even cities like Nairobi, for those of you who go there, they still have a problem of those Matatu DMCs.
Absolutely.
John Michuki, John Michuki had established a bit of discipline. You remember when he was Minister for Transport and Security?
When were you last in Nairobi?
No, I was there in May.
You know what? It's a real challenge because there is really need for public transport. Can we afford, or like I was saying earlier on, what is the other option? Is there any other option?
No.
as of now, unless we develop a proper mass public transport system.
She's talked about the Kampala Metropolitan. What did you call it?
Government
Plan.
has to invest.
We've borrowed $600 million. From,
That one we are doing in the Kampala roads.
Not the Greater Kampala.
There is a
it's Greater
budget
Kampala.
for the plan. It is there.
But
The money is there.
I think
The
part
borrow.
of the- actually, part of the problem, in my view, is having people in public offices making decisions when they are conflicted. For instance, if you have ministers, you have permanent secretaries, you have members of parliament, who also own 50 communities in the Kampala, how are they going to
Enforce.
You have seen one minister who owns, somebody owns 10 schools, private schools. He's also your minister for higher education. How do you expect them to make the public schools work?
It's going to fail public schools, you mean?
And
Oscar normally doesn't want us to talk about
that-
education
that
in
goes
this
to health and so
studio.
on and so
Oh, we have got a chance that is not there. We can.
So I think when we are appointing people to public offices, we need to do due diligence.
There are conflict of interest.
Yeah, conflict
Yeah.
of interest.
It's a huge.
And not that the Honorable Miyengo is a bad man, but he knows something about it. You would rather have him in a
Catch
different
22.
portfolio, and then in the cabinet, when they're talking about issues of schools and education, he can make his contribution from a knowledgeable point of view, other than him being totally in charge of where he's actually a competitor with public education,
If you have a state attorney who has
a law firm.
a law firm or the silent partner, what do you expect?
We have certainly many problems, and this topic would have been handled even much better if we had the minister or someone from the from the ministry. But our efforts to reach them out yielded no fruit, and we hope maybe next time when they enforce, maybe in 1 week's time, they can agree to come and just put context and try to give us some.
We can do a post-mortem.
Some more facts about the same, and I want us to cross to Parliament. Quite a number of probes going on in Parliament, COSASE, PAC, Public Accounts Committee, and many other committees. There's a lot of probes. I've seen a probe on the Temangalo issue. It has come up again. I've seen a probe of the human rights commission. I've seen quite a number of probes ongoing in Parliament, and I think you look at Parliament and mirror what the Honourable Balam is doing out of Parliament, and you probably think there is an intention to really fight corruption in this country. There are so many reports that are flying around, and there's so many arrests that are happening. And I want to begin with you, or who is our parliamentarian on this show? What's happening in Parliament? How about all these?
Honorable Lydia is a parliamentarian.
Honourable Lydia.
No, she is a minister.
She's a minister.
That
I
does
want-
not
I
stop
want
me
the
from being a member of parliament from Bale State. Actually, it is the constant.
Yes. Let me begin with the MP, then I will go to the minister.
No, I think after the president said this is a time of no more slave, no more corruption, and then he added the word that he said no time for politeness. In a sense, many leaders.
And you'll be out of office if you.
Yeah. I felt their spirit have been lifted. Because you remember, the president at one time said, you remember basically our lifestyle audit. You remember the president's pardon. Because you see, if somebody is convicted, of course that's the constitution. The president can pardon. I don't know if you remember the high profile cases where people were convicted of corruption and they gave them pardon. So there's a sense in which people thought he was condoning. And you remember that my DG said, the people, when I trace them, they go and hide behind you. So I think when he made this statement recently, that action was taken on the leadership of Parliament. Members of Parliament felt that they have been relieving. And so they began calling things that had accumulated dust. Well, look at this one now, Temangala. When was Temangala?
It was about 2 decades ago. But this
was still almost a young parliamentarian.
Yes.
Look at this one.
I was in a chat.
This one of what? You remember the one that took out Abraham Biadana?
Mm.
2010?
Katosi.
Katosi.
Yes.
And now this one of the toll.
Mm.
So I think my parliament now thinks that nobody, especially the president, will probably be on their way. Remember what happened because that's the report was not debated.
Mm.
And at that time they felt that the system,
The one of Uganda Airlines?
Even Uganda Airlines.
The system was very frustrating.
Mm.
So I think there's a sense in which Parliament and many people think that now is the time. What I don't know is when it will be quality work done.
Mm.
Now, if you don't do quality work at the moment, the start of a bad commission, judicial commission will require. You remember the entire report of 17 days. Yes, it was 17 days.
Mm.
Was quashed by Asland and Brit in court.
Aspects of her inquiry of the police was quashed.
Mm.
No, police wasn't.
No, I said aspects.
Aspects, okay.
Yes. You remember the one of Ogola?
Yes. Yes.
Gavi.
Mm.
Part of quashed. Bamugemere said to land, part quashed. So I think we need to pay more attention on the quality work.
Mm.
We in the committee, the members of parliament actually have. For me, and when I was outside Parliament, and I would still want to recommend, if they don't have inquiries like that, I think we need technical people attached to committees of Parliament to guide. Of course, members of Parliament, why you see them, they feel so big. Even what they don't know.
They are big, they don't feel so
yeah,
big.
we are big actually. At least by the title we have, and by the earning. We are big.
But the responsibility should match.
That does not translate. So I think that's one way we can look at work. Secondly, where because Parliament's work, particularly that course,
Send to the microphone.
comes via
Mm.
audits.
Mm.
Auditor General. Is there quite work in the Auditor General? My sense is that there's no quality work in the Auditor General.
Mm.
Because if the Auditor General had the quality work, I'm sure my brother has been there for 20 years, 25 years, a quarter century. We have never had an open debate of the Auditor General's report on Parliament itself.
Mm.
On Parliament itself. Now, if you have people like that, in my view, what tomorrow authority, people, there will be cynicism. All this thing going on, for example, where's the Auditor General's report that MPs are following on the money of this thing?
Mm.
But they come by way of accusations and so on. And those accusations, sometimes people will come and make false
They evaporate.
things that they cannot prove. Now, we are in the rule of law. In the rule of law, everything must be done lawfully, the evidence gathered. The same thing as the evidence of Mr. Baram, of what the evidential value would be in the courts.
Is it intended to do that?
I don't know if they intended to do that, but
You mean their publicity stunts?
they ought to be there.
I was asking.
If you want to secure, the durability of what you are doing. If it is done for political reasons,
There are wake-up calls. People now do
yeah,
their
of
work.
course, of course, wake up call, but if you're the minister
Mm.
and they're going to measure the width of the road, the depth of tarmac, the judge, a clever lawyer like Abdul will ask you, what is your role? What's your duty? And whether measuring the road.
Oversight.
But
Whether measuring the road.
can I give little information? You're a very good ardent reader of Mzei's statements and messages. You remember in some of these anti-corruption institutions, which are many, they tell you they are still looking for evidence. But the old man was like, the community, if you do, so this thing of barazas may not get you what you are saying, but the barazas are a wake-up call to improve to improve
Indeed, yeah.
the anti-corruption institutions do their work. I've heard him talk about barazas. So this Baram thing may not give you directly, but the barazas is a wake-up call to these people to do their work. Because let me just finish. If you have been my mentor and trainer, if at a district, the structure of the district, there is another DC, there is a DISO, and the DISO has a structure up to PISO or VISO. Then there is, how come when Balam calls the baraza in the district, people turn up and they say, okay, the Wananchi may not be accurate, but they are pointing dissatisfaction about issues. And yet there is a whole structure of governance in the district. So for me, it may not achieve the evidence, but the wake-up call for vigilance and for value for man and supervision.
Okay.
In this show 3 days ago, I said some of these are shock therapy. They use it in medicine.
Yes.
Shock therapy.
Yeah.
We use them in medicine.
Shock and awe.
So I'm not saying they are useless.
No, they are not.
That's why those commissions of inquiry, the one I referred to, they haven't achieved much.
They did. There were some reforms that were undertaken.
I want to.
The police force, there were reforms.
I am talking about durability of systems. Now, the inquiry in Parliament, that's what the sense in which I see people feel unburdened now. That the President has said whether we shall succeed, the different matter. But yes, let us conduct those inquiries, at least name and shape. Like now,
we had a situation.
Like now, when you see, when we talked earlier about the general here, a non-general is now the one taking on road contractors. A general had been there, and I thought they would have feared the general when he was the Minister of Transport. But I don't know what happened. At least now we know people occupy office, occupy chairs, and they actually don't do what they're supposed to do.
But you see, just 1 second. That's therapy thing you're talking about. Did you realize that there are people now actually trying to do some work ahead of? Someone is running around putting maram here. Did you notice there is that?
There was a video
so accidentally, some work is being happening. I don't know if you have been following that.
Of a grader driving at the speed of.
I will.
Okay, there are aspects of AI.
I want to bring in Honorable Katun to hear what's been.
There are people who are going to sleep, but because of this Balam thing, there's some work going on.
I'll give you your minutes to give us.
Some work is happening.
Honorable Katuntu, you've been part of many of these committees as chair, and you've produced reports. And here, the Honorable O is suggesting that what end and what's the end result of these reports and the queries that go through, that you sat on COSASE, quizzing BOU and whatever, where does it end? How does this report reflect the some of the rot that you unearth sometimes?
Maybe we need to put what's going on in context. You see, when a parliament has just started, there is also enthusiasm. 90% of the leadership of parliamentary committees is new. None of them has been a chairperson before. So they are trying to make a point. 60 to 70% of the membership are also new people. So it should surprise nobody that you have this enthusiasm in Parliament today. These are new people, new blood, new chairpersons. The current ones want to perform better than those who were there before. Those who were there before did one or two things during their time. Because you see, I don't know why you even brought a topic like that to discuss. I'll give you an example. UNRA. I see a lot of hurubal. What is new about UNRA? What is it that we did not do as COSASE when I was chair? All these sort of things you are talking about, we are unasked them. All. And there's a report.
My question
you remember
is,
at that time, listen, at that time, we even had to recover millions of dollars, which was being stolen by the contractors. And at that time also had new leadership, Allen Kajina. And everything that can go wrong in an institution used to go wrong in UNRWA until the Kajinas came in. And we pointed out all that in our report. So let's go to Temangalo. There is a report. I was the vice chairperson of COSAS at that time. Yes. And we conducted a thorough investigation. Thorough. There's a report there. I don't know whether even the new members, the chairperson, have read that report, because I don't see them referring to it. And do you know at that time the people who were involved, they were not small people. I know more about what went on in Temangalo than what I'm seeing these people asking. But the report is there. It's on the parliamentary record, because it should have been the basis upon which they would build on. Other than trying to open up this, they're asking questions which Parliament already determined. But you expect that at the beginning of Parliament. People are very enthusiastic. People want to make a point. People also want to, and I don't want to be negative, people want to do the job. So in this year, between May, that's when you're showing, between May 2026 and May 2027, you are going to see a very active Parliament, because everybody is trying to do a job. After that, it will slow down. It will slow down, and and I can tell you, it will be both duty and common sense. It will be both duty and what?
Common sense.
Common sense. But even others start coming in. Today, you are seeing a little bit of good attendance, even in the plenary. You wait after 1 year whether you have that attendance there. Because 1 year, people will be now in their constituency running around, and then they run from Parliament, they're busy burying and the fundraising of churches and mosques. So now Parliament is very active. If there is anything Ugandans should do, be happy about, is that in this year they are getting their money's worth. After 1 year, the short change will come in. After 1 year. And these are facts in life.
I sent a message on our one, actually, Moses Yoranga. He said the Abu doesn't own the carbon, but the carbon people want DMCs off.
Or is he saying Abu could, after leaving Parliament, he's starting business of a carbon? No, Moses communicates in Satan. He could be.
I don't do business because I'm not a very good businessman.
You are in services.
I'm not a good businessman. When I sell, I am cheated. When I buy, I'm cheated. So buy and sell of goods, I'm out of it. That one I leave to the OOs.
But which other the other business you do very well?
That one you have no choice. The stock is in the head. So to me, Parliament is going to be very active. Though I need to warn them, because Parliament has got types of committees. You have the sectoral committees and the accountability committees. I see a temptation now, because now the in thing is corruption and corruption or corruption fight. Even policy committees have failed to do what they are supposed to do under the rules. They are also running
going to
accountability. Because it's, the press is there, you get the limelight and so on. And yet, deliberately under those rules, we separated those committees and created functions of these committees. Sectoral committees are supposed to be doing budget and policy. Basically, look at it and say, what is going on, what do you do? 2, accountability committees are the ones supposed to be going into some of those. You find a sectoral committee, a whole meeting, they're on issues of accountability. I don't know what sort of report they will be writing, if there will be policy reports or not. And this is where the problem is. Eventually, the guys who have been named in those reports have an option of running to court. And these Edgars, smart as they are, they will just bring out those rules, say, by the way, this report is fake. Why? it indulged in what is not supposed to do. And I hope my brother Oboss streamlines this so that you don't have the conflict. Because, as OO says, many reports have been thrown out by courts of law. Yes, the subject is very popular, and wananchi like it. But you'll find the court throwing out because they had no basis to make the fund. They didn't have the power and the mandate to do that. So it's not that what they are doing is bad, but are they doing it in accordance with the law? And that's why we have a problem with even the Balaam campaign. It is very good, extremely good, because it exposes. But
due process?
If it goes to due processes and there are challenges, you'll find some of those actions being declared illegal. And even people who have been affected much as to be compensated. So you need to have all that in mind. Though for camera purposes, for public, okay. Lastly, I'll give you an example. When we are doing the Bank of Uganda probe, everybody saw what you are doing.
The president had advised you against it.
Yes,
and for good reasons.
But I eventually engaged.
No, it's because we
engaged the president.
Yes.
So, at the end of the day, I sat, and this I can agree. I can also disclose, when I was engaging the president, I said what we are looking at is to reform that Bank of Uganda institution in line with what we are finding out about this dissolution of banks, because many banks had been closed and so on, and many people were losing money. Then he said, okay, if it is about reform, do it, and let me look at that report. And if he assured me, if there are good recommendations in accordance with the law, I'll have them implemented. And he kept his word 100%. Later on, there were many reforms that went on in Bank of Uganda as a result of that report. But we were doing it because it is a very sensitive institution. It was not for public consumption and discourse. But we did it. We achieved what we should have achieved. However, the public was not interested in that. They were interested in the many things, do this and so on. And sometimes I go off the microphone.
I want to cross over to Edgar.
It was me.
Let's see. It's my turn.
I want the Honourable Minister to speak last on this topic.
But Honourable Katutu, I must give it up to you for...
Edgar, I have not yet asked the question. Having listened to Honourable Katuntu and Honourable OO, there seems to be a suggestion of busybodies trying to make themselves busy for now, and due to excitement, but also vigor to show that they are working, but also many reports that have been produced.
I think don't read the negative in my submission.
No, it wasn't that negative. But
you're actually giving guidance and direction, for which I appreciate. And
my question would be, how do we go from here? How do we get these reports to actually do the work they're supposed to do? To, like, for instance, if you got good recommendations that were implemented at BOU, how many, for instance, the other Uganda Air reports and stuff like that, how do we get to have them working?
Let me start by first commending Honourable Katuntu for his maturity in handling the BOU probe, because the fear was that the financial sector would be shaken by this probe. But Katutu, being the Katutu he is, and with his good upbringing, which I should thank your father, not you, for the good upbringing. You want to take credit for that. Many times these committees are handled in a manner to humiliate. And it came from these judicial probes. I don't want to mention the names of those judges, humiliating persons who are appearing before them, and in the process, diluting due process and a fair hearing. So I really give it up to you. You really... And I remember the late Professor Mutavira appearing before you.
For 3 months, he was in the committee every day. every day with his deputy.
Yes.
And that's not the Mutavile people knew.
Exactly.
To give you that respect.
Even humbled.
And he will come every day. By 9, Mutavile was there. And he will go morning and afternoon.
I'm not even looking at what you are saying. The body language.
Yes.
His body language was a person submitting to authority of parliament and giving the best, what do they call, the best advice and the technical opinion insofar as the finance sector was. I think I remember even the late Imat Cecilia Ogwal was part of the committee.
Yes.
And really did tell us. So now, we have a very good example of committees that have worked. I also remember during the NRC, you remember nominated council member Waswan Kalubo?
Yes.
Who was chairman of PAC?
He was elected.
From
Rubaga, yes.
I don't know. I keep.
You're a young man.
No, I mixed. I said Rubaga. I am the one who volunteered Rubaga. And being.
No, you said nominated.
I said.
The point is, he was elected.
And being young doesn't mean necessarily being stupid. I have knowledge of Uganda's story.
No one is suggesting someone being stupid.
Well, we had a ridiculous situation before Honorable Waswan Kalubo. That was the 5th Parliament, right?
No. That was the
NRC, yeah. Yes, the NRC.
Yes.
So they were discussing reports of the UPC administration.
Actually, it was the 5th.
It was the 5th. It was the 5th Parliament.
NRC was the 5th.
NRC was the 5th.
NRC was considering audit reports from 5 years ago.
Yes.
of the bottom government. And it was a very ridiculous situation. But this is 1990, 1991, and we are considering Auditor General's reports from 1984, 1985, and some of the office holders had already had fled into exile. But on a more serious note, beyond the number of cameras and Kodak moments that we have before these committees, how many or how much quality are we going to get out of these reports? What recommendations? What policy recommendations? What administrative recommendations are we going to come up with? Because ideally, that's the role of Parliament. And beyond the cameras, beyond the posturing, beyond the shock therapy, what are behind the scenes things that go on? Could it be that some of these committees could be using that as a revenue?
No, they're doing real to me. Give them, Edgar. You see, these people are trying to do their job.
Their job.
And they are new. They have the energy. They have a fresh mandate. They have just been constituted. Some have just been appointed to head those committees. So they are really genuine. Whether along the way other consideration might come in, but we need to have a judicious mind. We need to have a judicious mind. Give due credit and allow them to do. When they mess up, you can talk about it. As of now, we have not seen that. As of now, we have seen them doing a good job. Let them do. Correct them where they make mistakes. Give them an opportunity to serve.
Edgar, you have 2 minutes to deliver it.
Well, I don't have much to say. That we want to see due process respected. They shouldn't go outside of their mandate, the mandate that the law gives them. Because if they do so, certainly we lawyers, this is what we like. We'll jump in, and many of the persons who are fingered in such reports have deep pockets, and for us lawyers, we smile all the way to the bank. That's what we went to school to do.
Let's go for a quick commercial break, and when we return, I'll bring in the Honorable Lydia Wanyoto. Welcome back from that commercial break. My name is Derek Wandera, sitting in for Oscar Semwe Amsoke. Star Cafe is in the house, and members are partaking of it. I want to bring in Honorable Lydia Wanyoto on the topic that we've been just discussing. Honorable, you've had quite many itching points, and I want you to air them out.
My mind was to give information of the recent experience I have at Parliament. I've been appearing before a number of committees because public service is a cross-cutting ministry. But when you get to the committee, substantially I report to the Committee of Public Service and Local Government. But I've gone to the one of human rights. I've also appeared on education because of the issues of wage bill but also recruitment. But when you enter a committee of parliament, they are very well resourced in terms of human resource backup. I talked to the staff there. When I enter, if you're not a member of parliament, I say, how are you? I'm Wanyoto. Then someone tells you he's the clerk of the committee, there's an assistant clerk of the committee. The committee has legal counsel, a staff, they have a researcher and an economist. I was counting, they have a minimum of 5 staff of parliament per committee. Now, at the end of the day,
and
from what I have heard from the debate here and what I've seen, is that these people should empower members of parliament. That's their work. But when I go there, you find that many MPs speak, and this is quite either they are fearing MPs or they take notes. I do not see them, even to the beginning of the committee, briefing the chair and members about the fundamentals, the issue, so that the meeting is focused. Sometimes you see the meeting is drilled, but there's technical pursuit behind, and they keep quiet. So I
need to give you some information, Lydia.
Let me
this information to you. You see, before somebody comes in,
Katunda has
you
grabbed
need
the
to.
microphone.
I was giving information to
Katuntu, you will give the information. Lydia, Honorable Lydia.
So because I've seen that the new members of parliament, people knew they want to make a point, and we've joined parliament at the era of social media. So also members of parliament, some of them come with their bloggers. Before they are even finished, they are being recorded. There must be decorum and methods of work. And you set aside, I said, this is a committee meeting. The do's and the don'ts, who should be in and shouldn't be. Then the agenda is followed. I have not seen that. There is a bit of, when the chair is opening, someone is picking kabalagala like here, someone another and is drinking. So the order of the decorum of the committee is not very well guided. I'm not beshaming. You are the ones who have been saying members of parliament are excited. Some of them are not following the mandate or the rules of the policy guidelines of the committees. And where I sit, I think that technical staff whom I have found in the committees should really help members of parliament to run that time of the committee, because committees begin at 10. The one of others are beginning these days as early as 8 and 9. But there is I do not see smooth focus, and yet, in my humble opinion, they are oversubscribed by technical staff. I didn't know. I served as a staff of parliament long time ago, but we were like 1 or 2 people. 5 people in one committee to support members of parliament. Legal counsel, economist, researcher, clerk, assistant clerk, they sit around. Then is somebody, then some members, then there's also media. There's media for parliament, but there's also media. Yeah. There's a parliamentary, a whole well grown out parliament media covers committees. Even just maybe for records or whatever. But also members of parliament, I've seen some of them moving with their press support teams to take a picture when OO is talking or submitting, and when we are in plenary, they go and sit in the gallery to take pictures of members of parliament when they are submitting. So for me, from what you have said, I think the back ends with the clerk to brief, empower those many staff I have seen, actually to help the new members of parliament to focus on their mandate of their committees, if it's standing committee or sessional committee, or even in the field, and you deliver on that. Because at the end of the day, you'll have parallel, you'll have a lot of conflicts, and then you not deliver on your part, whether you're in the standing committee or sessional committee, or even in committee that have inquiry on issue. So they are issue based. They answer questions, they save time, and they are deliverable. Some of them, the other day, the speaker was saying that. He was saying the obvious, which is the rules. When parliament is sitting, you cannot have committees. But because they are carried away by their committee debates, 2 o'clock starts, you're in plenary, there's a committee going on. So these are some of the things I think they need to they need to reorganize and do the work
You as a consultant.
and reorganize. So my point is that there is enough competencies to to help members of parliament deliver on their mandate. But also they need to be supported to have order, focus, follow their agenda, and align themselves on what it is, whether you're in a sessional committee or standing committee or this select committee or there is a committee of inquiry, whatever it is, so that you deliver on the focus. And that work can be done.
Our time is fast spent. I want us to go to the last topic of does Ambassador Olarotunnu...
No, but before you, let me tell you...
have the ground.
Mr. Wandera.
Yes, Honorable.
I think my colleagues, especially in Parliament, need to benefit from this. It helps. One,
in 30 seconds.
Maybe less. One, parliamentary committees are supposed to meet before they meet the public. And during that meeting, they are supposed to iron out what Lydia is talking about. That depends on the chair. Don't call a meeting, meet people without sitting with your technical committee and members. You iron out the issues and agree on how you are going to proceed before you invite another people. Don't expect, for example, during the meeting when you invited PS and so on, and the staff is busy, they say, no, you can't do that. You know, first of all, if the staff disagree with you, it is a scandal. Or you get offended. Or even your own members. Who are you? Are you MP? This is blah, blah. And some are even very cantankerous. So what leadership does to committees, before that happens, call your committee members, call your staff, have an in-house for like 30 minutes, 1 hour, and then you can call a meeting. That is what I used to do, and some other committees used to do. But this thing of calling people, they just walk in and everybody from Wabigalo, from where, then they start talking about what they don't know, and they sometimes even scandalize committees or even parliament. So,
our time
and that... Yeah, but you see, it's not about time. It's all about... It is, but it's also about us to make a point. We don't want to be accused.
Make it succinctly.
And a good point.
Make it succinctly, please.
Okay. So to me, committees can do better, but it depends on the leadership of the committees.
Honorable does Ambassador Olarotunnu have a chance in this in 1 minute?
I'm not seeing it. He may be brilliant, but he was in UN how many years ago?
Over 41 years ago.
This is a very different time. I'm not seeing the muscle of Uganda. Yes, they're throwing our weight there. I think all is going to be determined by what Trump wants.
That's right. That's right.
Edgar?
I think looking at the straw.
And what does Trump want?
That's looking at the straw figures, the numbers that emerged out of the straw vote and going into the second round of the straw. I think Olarotunnu survived what we call relegation zone in terms of league, the soccer league. He's no longer in the relegation zone. He still has a chance. But beyond those numbers, you need nine members of the Security Council. And more importantly, the Westminster Capitol Hill consensus. So at the end of the day, it will be what Trump wants. And he still has an alley and valley of an opportunity if Kampala, if Entebbe can engage with the Oval Office. Ambassador Donia Yebade has delivered before, even where the odds were against him. Justice Bossa, the renewal of the mandate of Justice Sebutinde, there were many candidates.
You had 1 minute, yes.
Yes. So it's not yet over until it's over. But the word that is coming through is that Trump is looking at Latin America in terms of his geopolitics. But it's not yet over until it's over. And I hope Ambassador Donia Ayebade can deliver on this. I'll be very happy to see the classmate of my old man, Olarotunnu, go to the UN.
Honorable
return to the UN.
You can say go back to the... Well, I wish Dr. Olarotunnu the best, but it's also for Uganda. It's not personal. He's our candidate. He's also maybe the region's candidate. But whatever the outcome, he's different. He'll not be the same again. At least he has his smile. I saw him in State House the other day. He's in a better mood and all that.
Reconsidered.
Yeah, the energy and what's coming out of him as a person, but also for Uganda. Many Ugandans have welcomed this candidature. Of course to win, but even if we don't win, there's something about our country that is on the progression, that is positive, which is also good, because we are building for unity, for reconciliation, and for progress. So all the way, whatever the outcome is good for Uganda, and it's good for our politics, also for our country.
Honorable Abdul Katuntu.
About credentials and values, nobody can doubt or about delivering his credentials, he's done it 100%, perfectly well, both to the General Assembly and to the Security Council. Actually, I dare say he had the best presentation. Whether they were listening, that's another issue. But he should have listened. Even when he went to address the press, he was just superb. He was just superb. He knows the institution in and out. But there's a book which I always read books. I think I've given it to I don't know whether Oscar. Love does not win elections.
I hope you. I hope you're pronouncing the word elections right.
Thank you, Abdul Katuntu. Love does not win elections.
With the L, please. Emphasize it with the L.
Because Abdul Katuntu.
A small mispronunciation, you'll distort the meaning.
Honorable, thank you, Edgar Tavaro, and thank you, Ndugu Oo. Thank you, Star Cafe, for powering the gang. Thank you for our viewers on NBS. And thank you for our followers who were very keen and sending in quite avalanches of comments through our different social media handles. We have to end here. My name is Derek Wandera. I was sitting in for Oscar Semwe-Amsoke. Have a lovely afternoon, nice weekend, until we meet again.
That's a wrong one.
That's a long one.
Should I...